just to give you a little heads up as to who I am and what I do, my name is Indira Michelle. I'm a digital marketing manager. And what that basically means is I have a hand in anything that has to do with digital marketing. So Facebook, YouTube ads, even now TikTok ads I can manage and do. Senior copywriter. The digital marketing strategist side is more so like about helping people create good offers, campaigns, things like that. And so I use my expertise to design offers and launch campaigns for small businesses, both in online services and as well as e-commerce. I am known for my high converting ad campaigns and down to earth teaching style. Yes. And I have made small business clients out at this point. I would say I'm a little bit over nearly 4 million in revenue within the last 4 years. Just, give a little bit of receipts. I've been given an ad spend of 86K and generated 350K back in 2 weeks. Given an ad spend of 35K and generated 428K in 10 months. Given an ad spend of 12K and made over 200K in 1 year. So typically, the efforts that I contribute to businesses usually runs around 50 to 80% of their total revenue each month once they add me to the mix. I'm also a human design expert as it relates to the marketing piece. I am a certified master persuader and a graduate of Seminole State College. So that's my resume, y'all. To let you know that I am qualified to speak on the topics that we are going to speak about today. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, so first and foremost, let me just move this bar. Sorry, guys, the Zoom bar. Okay. In keeping with the key objectives that I was given, we are going to today, by the time this workshop is over, you will understand what a sales funnel is and its stages in the retail market. We will also talk about optimizing customer acquisition strategies that will help to drive traffic and generate leads. We will also talk about fostering customer loyalty and repeat purchases through post-sale strategies. And so in this presentation, my goal is to deepen your understanding of what a sales funnel is in the retail context, its significance, in driving growth. And I also want to equip you with actionable insights that you can also not only directly apply to your business, but also in the creation of a compelling pitch deck and presentation for your retail business. So that's my homework that I have to do. All right, we ready? Okay, cool. So, a lot of people think that a sales funnel is like, when I ask people what they think a sales funnel is, it's usually like, oh, it's like some kind of like electronic thing. I'm not sure. It's like Facebook, right? It's like social media, right? And so a sales funnel is a system, right? That's all it is. And a sales funnel, it represents whatever journey you have. If you are a business who is, not a hobby and you're selling to people, you do have a sales funnel. There is a process that people are going through in order to find out who you are and to make a purchase from you. Is the sales funnel necessarily good? I don't know, but every business that is taking clients, whatever that process is that you're making people go through to purchase from you, that is your funnel. And so on average, only 2% of website visitors convert after they visit your site. And so this is why it is critical as business owners for you to have sales funnels in place, because after people leave your website, you need to have something in place to help nurture the relationship afterwards, right? So a sales funnel is also a tool that will help you to convert new buyers into raving fans who buy more and more often. Other things great sales funnels do, it will kickstart word of mouth and social sharing and the benefits that come with it. And lastly, it shortens the buyer's journey by offering them the right product at the right time. It's so important because unfortunately, sometimes we think in our mind, like, we have our businesses open and we're ready to make sales, but sometimes people are just not ready, at the moment that we want them to be. But they will come if they're nurtured properly. All right, so that is what a sales funnel is. Now, in terms of the stages of a sales funnel, so one of the things that I always like to tell people is that you have to think of sales in terms of like a relationship, like very similar to like a dating relationship, right? And so when you think about it in terms of those steps, it makes it so much easier for you to create content, for you to know when is the right time to do things, because, unless we have some other internal issues going on, you don't just immediately meet someone and like, try to proposition them for something. You at least try to exchange numbers, you kind of check each other out. It's the same process in business. And so in the 4 stages of a sales funnel, the first stage is awareness, right? And this is the initial stage where your potential customer is going to become aware of your brand or product. Now, this is normally going to happen. It could happen many ways, but it's normally going to happen through either social media, maybe podcasting, maybe public relations, meaning like you got featured in a newspaper, an article, on TV. It could be advertising. It can also be word of mouth, or it can be an organic search result. Maybe the person is looking for a specific thing on Google or YouTube, and your business happens to pop up. And so that is the awareness stage. If we were taking this in the context of, like I said, of like a relationship, this would be like you go to the party and you see the person that attracts your interest. You're like, huh, that person looks kind of cool. So you at least know that they exist. Next stage that you have to take people through is interest, right? So once the person is aware that your businesses exist, then they're going to try to seek more information. They're at this point, they're doing research, they're comparing your product and services to others in the market. At this point, they are consuming free content from you, and more than likely, they are on your email list, right? So again, if we look at this in a dating context, at this point, you are at the party, you guys have exchanged phone numbers, right? At the interest stage. It means, hey, I've raised my hand, I'm interested in you, I'm interested in hearing from you. But that's, at this point, that's all it means, right? It doesn't guarantee anything else is gonna happen. Is what you do after you get the phone number that is gonna determine how far the relationship goes, exactly the same in your business. And so the next stage is gonna be the decision stage. And so at this stage, your potential customer is ready to make a purchase, but they might be, considering a few other things. They might be looking at reviews, but they are close to making a decision. So again, going back to the dating example that I was given, this would be like you guys are actually going out now. Like you're dating, you're going out on dates, but again, until a commitment has been made, you can still see other people. Like you may still be entertaining other opportunities, right? And then the final stage of a sales funnel is the action step. And this is where your customer is ready to make a purchase, okay? And again, this is why it's so important for you to understand that your clients really sales as a relationship, right? And a lot of people, I like to say, I call it like, booty callpreneurs. Like once they get someone to purchase, that's it. Like there's no follow-up after, there's no checking, no nurturing the person afterwards, and the customer is left feeling like, wow, like you don't really care. And so it's very important to understand that the relationship does not end once you actually get the sale. Okay. All right. So, okay. So now in terms of practical application, so if you want to map the 4 funnel stages into actual actions, so the awareness stage, you want to drive traffic to a landing page. So that landing page you can use through organic social media posts, simple ads, but the landing page is just basically like a page that lets people know, it could be your website, just to let them know like, hey, we're here, and we are, ready for business. Interest could be engaging with visitors on that landing page through live chat. It could be having your DMs, available to accept messages on like Facebook or Instagram. But it's basically a way for you to engage with visitors. It could also be engaging with comments that people give you on social media. When people express interest, that could be capturing leads through a form or through like a pop-up box that shows up on your website, where you basically ask for their first name and their email address. I typically only ask for those two things. I know now it's becoming more popular to ask for phone numbers, but it's one of those situations where text messaging, I feel, is best done. Text marketing is best done usually after the person has bought from you at least once. It's just my personal thing. You don't have to do it that way, but just because you don't want your text messages to be seen as like an interruption in what the person is doing, because our phones are like very personal. So there's that. The decision stage would be, again, you're continuing to nurture the person through email marketing. So maybe that's like a weekly newsletter that you're sending. It could be, once a person buys this one product from you, you automatically put them through an automation to receive a series of emails discussing other things that they might need to supplement that purchase. Again, taking people through the decision stage, you would direct them back to another page, or back to your website for another conversion, or the very first one. And lastly, the action stage, you process the sale through a simple payment processor gateway, something simple like PayPal, Stripe, Square. Those are all great payment processors that I definitely recommend. All right. Now, to go through the process of what I just explained, you're going to need some tools. And what I've decided to do is share with you the tools that I recommend in the building of sales funnels, because there's a lot of tools out there, y'all. It's a lot. And so these are tools that in the last 5 years, I have used consistently with clients. They do what's needed. So these are the ones that I recommend. So for your landing page builder, and this could also be a website builder, I recommend ClickFunnels, Kajabi, or Shopify. Yes, you can also use WordPress, but I find that, for a simple, templates, drop and drag type stuff, these three happen to be much simpler than trying to, build a website from scratch. In terms of an email marketing system, I recommend ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, ConvertKit, and Kajabi. Kajabi also, in addition to being able to build pages, you can also send emails within that same product. In order to do site analytics on your website, because one of the things that you want to do as businesses, once you have people visiting your website, purchasing from you, you want to be able to analyze the traffic and know, like, well, is the majority of the people who are purchasing from me, where are they coming from? What source is, dropping them? And so your site analytics can be done through either Google Analytics or Samcart. Samcart is also a payment processor as well. So in terms of payment processors, I recommend Stripe, Square, Samcart, and PayPal. And lastly, the last two, in terms of social media promotion, right now, the most popular is going to be Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Just, depending. Pinterest and LinkedIn are also, worth honorable mention on here. But for most retail, these are going to be the ones, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube for retail. And then the very last one, in terms of tools that you will need for paid traffic sources, as an ads manager who's been doing this a long time, y'all, okay? Like, always start with Facebook and Instagram ads. Please, ma'am, please, sir. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Always start with those two. The reason why I say that is because with Facebook and Instagram having like over 2 billion active users, not just people who signed up for an account, but like active users, your ideal client is on there. Trust me. They're on there. And they are, once you can get an ad successfully running and converting on that platform, it is highly likely that the other ones will fall in line. And so also, once you start at, it's the same platform. So that's the other reason too, is like you get more bang for your buck, because when you advertise on Facebook, you literally, because they own Instagram, you are advertising on Instagram with the click of a button. It'll just ask you, do you want this ad to show on Instagram or not? You hit yes, and then, so for those reasons, amongst many others, that is why I say always start with them. Next, I would then recommend, when you go into paid traffic, after you get Facebook and Instagram working for you in a manner that you're okay with, I would then say go next to Google and YouTube. Again, it's the same. Once you advertise on one, once you have a Google ad account, you can do Google ads, and it'll ask you, do you want the ads to show on YouTube? You click yes, and you're getting your bang for your buck. And then after that, I would say once those two are locked down, then you explore any other ones that you wish. All right. Okay. Now, in terms of sales funnels in the retail context, so there are two types of funnels. There's a traditional funnel, which is like pre-online stuff. So the traditional funnel is going to be like the in-store displays that you see, face-to-face customer service, the person that you see in the mall that's trying to give you bourbon chicken, uh, and point of sale promotion. So those are going to be like a traditional funnel. A digital funnel is one that usually includes online ads, email marketing, product reviews, and an online checkout. But it's the same 4 stages people have to go through, either one, whether it's traditional or digital. Now, why are sales funnels vital? So it is to understand and guide your customer's journey from discovery to purchase. It will optimize your marketing because you will be targeting the right people with the right message at the right time. And you will also increase conversions. A great funnel will lead to better customer engagement and higher sales, hands down, every time. Every time. It will always do that for you when it's, structured in the manner that it's supposed to be. And that's what I'm here to help y'all with. Yay. All right. So in terms of your retail business and your funnel, I want you to take a moment to think about your business and the 4 funnel stages that I talked about, which were awareness, interest, decision, and action. And I'm going to give you like a minute and let me know, how would you map out this customer journey for your business using the tools that we talked about? See, now I'm going to know if you're paying attention. Oh, that was a great comment. Meta also authenticates accounts based on usage, so your ad isn't reaching passive users and dummy accounts. That's awesome.
Yeah, Indira, we just had a whole meta day on marketing, so we covered the ways that you could optimize a little bit. So I was hyped to hear you say that they need to be using it.
Yeah, like you gotta use Meta first. Like that's so many problems will be solved. um, so many problems. So I am waiting. Let me see. Hmm. I'm waiting for someone to tell me in the chat how you would map out the customer journey for your business. Hmm.
And hi, my name is Fabiola.
Okay. Hey, Fabiola.
I need to raise my hands in the chat.
No, it's fine.
Okay. When the map is like a map out is coming my to my business. The customer coming to my business is like something like that. Is the word?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I think when you find your awareness, you can change the the awareness for the action, okay, and the interest you can this man it's not this slide. It's like wake up or I don't know in English this word, but you also you say that you need to use main marketing and use Instagram. If you have a store, you need to uh, record video in your store and present your product in explain what is going the product is well for to use for that or demonstration. And for me my experience is well when I record video working on the material uh, and when I my business is a dental supply for a doctor or for a dentist. I have a lot of material, and also I incorporate like a socks, a sock for a dentist, and I show this product and the necklace, like a necklace with a feet. Uh, and when I show this product on Instagram, on Facebook is not too much I use because I don't know, I put together the history, but the people is this I don't know in English how do you despierta interés.
Mm-hmm.
Awakening the interest of others.
Okay.
Got you. So
Yeah. Gracias, Coto. The interest to other. Look, because oh my God, in my business, I for the people interest like not only material, maybe socks like a food or necklace. Oh, I like it's a something cute for another thing, only no material. This is the action or decision that I interest other person. I think. I don't know. Is this well?
no problem. So I would say with a dental supply, the awareness is going to be what you post on social media. The interest is going to be how people engage and decide to hear from you guys moving forward. The decision is whether to decide whether to use your products or not. And the action is when they actually make a sale, they actually buy from you. And so I see in the chat, Stacy also did great. So in terms of awareness, it would be landing pages and Shopify. Interest would be through social media and Instagram. The decision would be payment processors, decision, email marketing, and action, email marketing. So the only thing I would change, Stacey, is the awareness is actually built through the social media. The interest is going to be through the landing page. The decision is going to be through email marketing, and then the action will be through your payment processor, right? So that was the only tweaks that I would make. So these are good, guys. These are good. All right, let's move on. Okay, so now if you found that this the exercise was challenging for you to do, which I'm going to assume since I don't have 19 answers on here and there's 19 people on, okay? If you found the previous exercise very challenging, that's usually because most businesses that find mapping out the customer journey difficult is because they're not able to narrow down a clear benefit or solution that their business provides, okay? And this is something that you are going to need to be able to articulate for both your pitch deck that you have coming up in a few weeks and your sales funnel. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take a moment and try to create a problem statement. Okay. So before we dive into this problem statement template, let me just say it doesn't matter like what your business does. You could be selling hair products, you could be doing lipstick, you could be selling candles, it could be dental supply. I mean, it doesn't matter. There is always some sort of benefit or problem that your business is aimed to resolve. And so with the problem template, what I would like you to do, if you have a sheet of paper and a pen, this is the template that you're going to use. So your audience currently faces the challenge of insert whatever the problem is, which results in whatever those consequences are for them, despite, the things that they've tried, and the issue persists due to underlying reasons. So I made an example of one. So it says traditional movie theaters currently face the challenge of declining audience attendance, which is very true, right? Which results in decreased ticket and concession sales, which affects their overall profitability. Despite offering enhanced viewing experiences like IMAX, 3D, 4D, the issue persists due to the convenience and affordability of streaming networks now, and the shift in a consumer preference because of the pandemic towards at-home entertainment. Okay, so you see how I took, the movies and turned that into a problem statement and a very accurate one, right? So you want to take this template. I'm going to give you guys like a moment, and I want you to basically use the same template and insert this for your business. Let me give y'all a minute to do it. And the good news is this is one of the things that you will have to include in your pitch deck. So see, you're already getting some of the work done in advance. And if you're driving, that's fine. Please do not stop and do a problem statement, but just know that this is going to be part of your homework for you to do after this course. But I'll give you guys just a moment to do that. But even if you're, not in a place where you can write, just think about it. Take a moment to think about who your ideal audience is, the challenge that they're facing, the consequences that they're having because of that challenge, and what you think they probably have tried before coming to you. I hope I pronounced your name right. It's Akili. Akil. I love it. Awareness, blog posts, followed by publishing it on LinkedIn. Interest, email blast using Mailer Lite. Action, monthly newsletter with Mailer Lite. Decision, newsletter, and follow-up call. So the only thing I would change, the decision, the action is not the monthly newsletter. It's going to be people actually deciding to make a purchase from your consulting company. But everything else is perfect. Barbara says dancers currently face the challenge of finding the right fitting shoes by buying online, which results in time, effort, and money in returns and exchanges. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love it. All right, so I'm gonna move on, but definitely, take a screenshot or, I will give the slides after, but you definitely wanna use this template to come up with a problem statement, because this is gonna be something, again, that's gonna help you decide what your sales funnel should be in the first place, right? And then because your sales funnel should give a solution to a problem. And you also need to be able to clearly articulate what problem your business solves when you are pitching for your company. All right, so next, basically wrapping up what I said, your sales funnel has to lead to a clear solution. Every effective sales funnel has a clear goal, and that clear goal is solving their customer's problem. And so their solution, the solution that you provide, it has to resonate with the person on a personal level. And so again, like I said, it doesn't matter like what the business is, but you want to think of it as the big three. There needs to be a solution or a benefit that your product or service provides that enhances someone's health, wealth, or relationships. Those are the big three that people care about. As long as you can tie whatever it is that you're doing back to a solution or a benefit in one of these three areas, like, you're golden. And so if you can ensure that your business's value proposition, which I know is one of the workshops you guys will be diving deeper into what a value proposition is. So if you can ensure that your business's value proposition aligns with those deep-seated human desires, because everyone desires to have better health, more wealth, and better relationships, then you can create a solution statement around them, and you will have no problem acquiring sales or investors to your business. So we are going to try one, right? So your solution statement is going to be similar to what we did with the problem statement template. I want you to take a moment and just reflect on your business. And I want you to think about how does your solution positively impact your customers' health, wealth, or relationships? And once you have that, can you clearly articulate that in your funnel and in your pitch, right? But I got you, okay? So I want you to look at the template here. It says our product, your service business offers the specific benefit to a specific audience, and it enables them to achieve whatever the desired outcome is in their either health, wealth, or relationships. Unlike, and then you want to put in current alternatives. We put in what makes you guys different, and you want to ensure a guaranteed result, or again, an added benefit. So using these templates makes the statement very succinct, and you are very clear on what solution it is that you provide. So let me just see. So I made some examples for you in each of the three. So in the health sector, for example, let's say you had an organic juice bar, right? It would sound something like, our organic juice bar offers nourishing, detoxifying beverages to health conscious individuals. It enables them to boost their immunity and energy levels. Unlike typical sugary drinks, we source locally and prioritize raw ingredients, ensuring a fresh, natural boost with every sip. Do you see how succinct and clear that is? You know exactly what it is and what benefit they provide. For a wealth solution statement example, our personal finance app provides intuitive budgeting tools and investment advice to millennials, enabling them to maximize their savings and grow their wealth. Unlike traditional banking apps, we integrate AI-driven insights and peer comparisons, ensuring informed financial decisions. Very clear, very succinct. And lastly, if your product helps people in the area of relationships, it will be our curated date night subscription box offers unique and memorable experiences for couples, enabling them to strengthen their bond and create lasting memories. Unlike standard entertainment options, we customize each box based on couples' preferences, ensuring a personalized and special evening every time. So those are just 3 examples, one in each of the major 3, of what a solution statement looks like. All right, so let me move on. Okay, now in terms of customer acquisition in retail, which means how do you go out and get customers? There are 3 things that you're going to need to consider. You're going to consider the importance of knowing who your target audience is, what your methods are going to be to attract those customers, and what is it going to cost you as a business owner to get them. So let's talk about the importance of knowing your target audience. Okay, number 1, once you understand consumer behavior, before you can actually sell to somebody, you have to understand what it is that they want, what it is that they need, and how they shop. This is critically important. The other thing that you want to do is you want to segment, right? And you want to be able to break down your market into smaller, manageable segments. So going back to what Alexis was saying with your buyer personas, if you have multiple buyer personas, those need to be segmented, right? And that allows you to do more personalized marketing, and then the person on the receiving end feels like, oh my gosh, how did they know? Or they're actually touched by the level of customization that they're receiving. The other reason why knowing your target market, your target audience is so important is because you get to tailor your messaging, right? And when you speak directly to the needs and wants of a specific group, that increases the likelihood of a conversion. One of the things that I always say is when you market to everyone, you sell to no one, right? Because if everybody is your ideal client, then no one's going to purchase. It needs to be tailored to a specific group of people. Okay. All right. Now, in terms of methods that you will use to attract customers into your sales funnel, we're looking at advertising. So advertising can be traditional, which is billboards, TV, radio. Now there's even Hulu ads, versus digital, which is pay-per-click display ads that are on Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Each of them has its merits depending on the audience. The other method that you will have to attract customers is going to be social media. So platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, they will allow you to have engagement and community building. The other thing that you can also try in order to attract customers into your sales funnel is to do like influencer partnerships that can also amplify reach for you. Basically, what an influencer partnership is you pay a particular person to post about your product or service on their page because they have more reach obviously than you do. Other things that you can do is general partnerships, just collaborating with a complementary business to tap into their customer base. So for example, a coffee shop inside of a bookstore, that's a great collaborative partnership. Another way to attract customers into your sales funnel is content marketing. So while you may be advertising and doing things on social media, content marketing is like you're offering valuable free content like blogs, videos that position your brand as an industry leader and helps to attract organic traffic. That is, content marketing is very intentional and very specific. So I see that Jessica has a question. If you don't mind, when we get to the next, at the end, I will do Q&A for everyone. That's fine. All right, so let me move on. Okay, the cost of acquisition and why it matters. So budgeting, right? You need to know how much it's going to cost for you to acquire a customer. And it's also going to help you in allocating your marketing budgets and your funding efficiently, right? So let's say, you're pitching to present for your company. If you already know how much it costs for you to acquire a client, then you already know when you receive funding dollars, where, what it will actually do for you in terms of additional business. Your profit calculation. So your cost of acquisition is nicknamed CAC. So your CAC should be less than the lifetime value of a customer. Personally, as someone who manages ads, I use a lifetime value of 60 days, because if you say lifetime value, like lifetime value could be years. There are some businesses, for example, like McDonald's, we've been buying from them for years, right? So our lifetime value, if we said lifetime, it really would be really difficult to track. So for the purpose of advertising and copywriting and marketing campaigns, 60 days of lifetime value is enough for you to figure out if something is profitable for you or not. A lot of times you may place advertisements for things, and let's say it costs you, $20 to add someone to your email list. But if within 60 days they're going to spend 100, then it's worth it, right? And so that's the importance of knowing your lifetime value and what the cost of acquisition is. Strategic planning. So if your cost of acquisition is too high, then you know that you're going to need to revisit and tweak your strategies, right? If it's low, then that means you're doing something that's super amazing and that needs to be scaled. It needs to be duplicated like as soon as possible. Also, you need to know what the comparison benchmarks are for your industry. So if your cost of acquisition, so for example, getting someone right now to sign up for a freebie on your email list, on average for most industries, is between like $2 and $5, right? So if for whatever reason you're able to get people to sign up on your email list for $1, right, then you know that you're doing even better than industry standard. If it's costing you, $15, $20 to get somebody to sign up to join your email list, then you know that there's some kind of inefficiency that needs to be addressed, because that's not the industry standard. So that's why those things matter. Okay, next, in terms of nurturing leads and enhancing conversions, we're going to talk about the importance of engagement after the first contact, tips for engagement, and then measuring conversion rates and understanding drop-off. So that's going to be what we dive into next. So the importance of engagement after the first contact. So first impressions is not enough, right? Just because somebody knows about your product or service doesn't mean they're ready to buy. Usually people have to be exposed to a brand probably, anywhere from 5 to 7 times before they even register that they're going to take the action of purchasing from you. And so that is where you want to build trust, right? Marketing and engaging consistently will help you establish credibility. And again, it will foster the relationship that I was telling you about with your potential customers. It also keeps you top of mind. Regular engagement with your customers ensures that your brand remains, top of mind when they are ready to make a purchase. So tips that I have for your sales funnel in terms of engagement: email newsletter. That's one of the easiest and simplest things to do. Giving people regular and consistent updates on your products, your offers, or any industry news. Drip campaigns are another part of sales funnels where you're going to send out automated emails sent at specific times. Those are usually based on a user action. So they subscribe for, this particular freebie, or they subscribe for this particular announcement, and it just guides them through a sales funnel. Loyalty programs are also great, rewarding customers for repeat purchases or referrals. It fosters loyalty and it also encourages more frequent shopping. A point system. If you desire to put a system in place where your customers can earn points for every purchase, which can be redeemed later. Another thing that helps keep people very engaged is having exclusive offers. So special discounts, early access for loyalty program members. So remember when I was talking to you guys about the movie theaters and their problem statement, I actually have a membership that I purchased through the movies where I pay like $23 a month. And I'm able to go to the movies at least like 12 times in a month, which we obviously know I'm not going to the movies 12 times a month, but but I still pay for the service because I feel like even if I only use it once, it still pays for itself because it's about $20 to go to the movies now anyway, right? So that's basically what they chose to do to solve that problem that we talked about before. But I brought that up in terms of, exclusive access. So now when I go to the movies, because I have that membership, I don't wait in the regular line for a concession. I wait in a different line to get more popcorn and things like that. And so these are just, these are things that help keep me engaged and returning to that same AMC instead of going to another brand of movie theater, instead of going to Regal, right? They have me engaged. Personalized offers using data to cater deals to individual preferences. So this is what I was talking about before. If let's say someone purchases one particular product, like let's say you do like natural hair care, if a person purchases a hair oil, then you use that data to then recommend maybe some other product that complements the oil that they just purchased. Maybe it's something they put on their head at night to make sure that the oil doesn't leak, or something like that. Segmentation is another great way for engagement, dividing your email list based on their purchase history, right? This is also going to be super good for you when you get to the point of using advertising to get in people in your funnel, because one of the reasons why I always say to use Meta first is because unlike the other ones, Meta has something called a lookalike audience where you can actually upload your buyers into the platform and it will create audiences for you of people who have never purchased from you, but they look like the people who have purchased from you, which, that level of certainty and that level of transparency, like you're not going to really get that on the other platforms right away. Definitely not. And so the other thing is, like, a lot of times with retail customers, like if you have your sites on Shopify, for example, people purchase something and then it has like a recommendation engine at the bottom. So once you purchase it, it has like an algorithm that suggests other products to the person based on the behavior that they're exhibiting on your site right there at the moment. All right, moving on. Now, after the sale, I remember I said you don't want to be the person who gets the sale and then the person never hears from you again. We're not about that life over here, right? So we want to talk about the cost of retaining versus acquiring a customer. We're going to discuss some strategies for building loyalty, and then we will talk about some upselling and cross-selling opportunities. So the cost of retaining versus acquiring a new customer. Retention is economical, right? Because it just makes that, like I say, the math is mathing with retention, because it can be anywhere from 5 to 25 times more expensive to get a new customer than to retain existing ones. One of my clients has a repeat customer rate every month, usually between like 65 to 70%, which is like amazing, right? But that's because her system of taking care of her clients is such a good experience that within 30 days, 60 to 70% of them return and buy something else. In the sales funnel context, once your customer reaches the bottom of the funnel, which means they made a purchase, it's so much more efficient for you to keep them engaged than to start all over from scratch, with a new potential customer. So going back to the dating example that I was saying, right? Let's say, in everyday life, you're in a relationship, you break up with your partner, having to go back on the dating platforms again and having to go out and network and meet people, you're like, it's so much easier. Like, it's so much easier because you got into a habit and a routine with the person that you were already with, right? It doesn't mean, that the other options are closed, but it's a more difficult labor now that you have to take on yourself to do. And so there's also, you want to look at the value of loyal customers, because loyal customers actually also act as brand ambassadors for you, because they will recommend your products to other people. They'll post about it on social media. They'll tag your business. I mean, and you have no idea, what that could do, for your business in terms of, there are many a business that has launched into viral things. A lot of times, if like there are people, for example, like Oprah and Beyonce, that they can't even they've actually put people out of business because they'll recommend something on their page, and then, the businesses are not prepared, to handle the influx of business. And so that's the importance of having loyal customers that act as brand ambassadors for you. You never know, like, what can happen for your business just on having a good product. All right. Okay, so in terms of strategies for building loyalty, loyalty programs are a great sales funnel booster because they speed up repeat purchases. So remember what I was talking about, the membership that I pay with AMC. You can get me to go to a Regal here now, because I'm like, why am I going to pay Regal when I already have a membership with AMC that allows me to see up to 12 movies a month? Like, when I get invited to the movies, I'm like, is it AMC or is it Regal? Like, otherwise, I'm like, so, it's not even to say like I have a dog in the fight, like, I really care per se, but it's because I'm in a program with them already, with rewarding me for my loyalty. So why would I go someplace else, right? And so that's a great sales funnel boost. Customer feedback. When you actively seek opinions on your services, it shows the customer that you value their purchase enough that you will make improvements, right? A lot of times, because the vast majority of people are, people buy from you, they never hear from these companies again. Companies that actually circle back to get their feedback on how the process was, like, it's rare, and it sets you apart. Now, I will say sometimes when you do this, most of the time people don't really give feedback unless was super exceptional or super bad, right? Because that's either one of those creates such an emotional reaction with people that they're like, if it's super exceptional, they're like, man, I have to take my time to say something. If it's super bad, then they're like, I have to take the time out to do something. So normally, if your customer service is like in the middle, you might not get that much feedback, because that's the only time when people really take the time to do it is usually in one of those two cases. But again, even if people are not responding to surveys or your questions, the fact that you show that you care, it does register in people's mind for the next time that they want to purchase. The other thing is the after sales service funnel. So offering support after a purchase is made, it helps to resolve issues. It boosts your customer satisfaction. It prevents potential complaints, returns. A satisfied customer with an excellent after sales experience will definitely enter another sales funnel of yours sooner. Absolutely will. Okay. And then in terms of upselling and cross-selling opportunities. So upselling is basically encouraging the purchase of, an additional item or upgrading the item. And it's obviously going to be more expensive. So your funnel approach is basically when the customer is at the decision or action stage, you are presenting them with superior alternatives that offer even better value, even more features. Cross-selling is a little bit different, and that's when you're recommending something that's related or complementary to your product. So once the purchase is made, or even just before, you showcase products that complement the customer's choice. So if I'm at, purchasing coffee, a complementary product might be a croissant, right? And so if I'm buying a laptop, giving me a protective case or software, complementary purchase. Either one of these strategies in a sales funnel is going to increase your average transaction value, your lifetime value of the customer, and it re-engages them and draws them right back into the funnel. All right. Next, we want to talk about analyzing and optimizing your sales funnel. So one of the things that I see in the day-to-day is a lot of times people build funnels, but then they don't really take the time to analyze them or optimize them, right? The only time they'll take the time to do something is if the funnel is not giving them any results then. But it's very important, I won't even say sometimes, it's always important to analyze what's happening with your funnels and to analyze like what's going on. Because without that analysis, you won't know at which stage of the funnel is where people might drop off or where people are excited, which things need improvement, which things you're doing great at. You need to know where in the process these things are happening. Also, doing analysis and optimizing your funnel on a regular basis gives you a competitive advantage. It helps you to stay ahead of your competitors because it always makes sure that you're maximizing the conversions that you do have. Return on investment. Effective analysis ensures that you're getting the best return on investment for your marketing and sales initiative. I cannot tell you guys enough how many people will place ads for things and then just like, I don't know, turn away from it, and don't really, track, well, what happened after the person clicked on the Facebook ad, and they went to the website, what happened? You have to take the time to actually do that analysis. So tools that I recommend for sales funnel analysis is going to be tools like Google Analytics, Mixpanel. That's also something that allows you to monitor the behaviors and see where potential customers drop off. Conversion rate optimization tools, you can use platforms like Optimizely or Unbounce. And what that does is it helps you test different versions of your website pages to see which ones convert best. Other great tools, which you guys probably have heard about, are AI. Everyone is like on the AI bandwagon now. So tools like ChatGPT, and many of the other AI driven tools provide deeper insight into customer behavior, sentiment. It can even predict like future trends and areas of potential concern for your marketing and sales initiatives. And on a side note, so, because I'm a copywriter, a lot of times I remember when ChatGPT first came out, people were like, oh my gosh, are you worried? Like, it's going to take your job? I'm like, no, because, with AI driven things, the experience that you have, like the questions that you ask are going to be different based on your experiences. So, it has not taken away copywriting work. If anything, the output that a copywriter may get versus, someone who's not experienced in marketing, the output is not going to be the same. So, it's kind of like, it's not changing nothing in terms of, getting rid of people. So AI is a great tool that I highly recommend for you to use, especially when you're first starting out. A lot of times as a business, you don't have, the funding to really have a lot of people on your team. And so these are things that you can use, all of these tools that I was talking about, like in terms of analytics, these are tools that you can use to kind of help you until you are able to scale and have a bigger team helping you. The power of regular reviews and adaptability, it lets you'll understand changing market dynamics, right? So I'm pretty sure, every business had to change some of their marketing dynamics were changed during the pandemic, right? New industry things evolve. And so, some businesses were literally like obsolete during that time. And so this also helps you to know, like, is your business still relevant for what's happening? Because again, going back to the movie theater example, wasn't nobody going to movies during the pandemic, not actually during the pandemic. So they had to get creative and think of something else, right? Learning from your failures is very crucial for you to understand that not every strategy that you try in order to market your sales funnels will be a hit. Not everything will be a success right away, but I wouldn't call it a failure because you will learn from everything. And so when you review and you adapt and learn from what didn't necessarily work right away, you're able to pivot accordingly and move on to the next thing. It also allows you to tweak for best results. So sometimes even small changes like the color of a buy now button, having things on your website instead of saying subscribe. I always like to put like the button to say like, yes, I'm in, to make it like something where the person is like affirming. All of those little things, they can significantly impact your conversions. Regular review allows you to make these little micro changes, and over time, that makes a big difference in your sales initiatives. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up and then be available to answer any specific questions. But the next thing that I want to talk about is, so we talked about sales funnels, we got in deep with those, but actually pitching your business to investors is also a different kind of sales funnel, but it is still one, right? And so the same 4 stages of the funnel that we talked about, the awareness. So in a sales funnel, you're introducing potential customers to your product or service. During a pitch, however, you are introducing potential investors to your business idea, mission, and vision. Both, you need to make them aware that you exist, right? In terms of the interest stage of the sales funnel, you engage your potential customers with content and with the benefits of what your company provides. And an investor pitch is the same thing, but only this time you're going to dive deeper into the problem that you solve. You're going to talk about your solution and the market opportunity that your company has, which piques their interest into the partnering with you and really investing in your business. For the decision stage, in a sales funnel, you provide your customers with compelling reasons to purchase. You address their objections that they may be having. In an investor pitch, at that point, at the decision point, you are going to present data, financial projections, and competitive analysis. At this point, you want to demonstrate why your business is a good investment, for them, and how it stands out from what's already available. In the action stage of a sales funnel, you have like a final call to action, which leads the person to make a purchase. In an investor pitch, this is what is considered the ask. So you detail, the investment opportunity, what type of equity you're looking for, what you want to use the funds for, and the next steps for any interested investors. But either way, both go through the 4 stages of a sales funnel. So to wrap up, the key takeaways that we covered today is sales funnels are crucial in guiding potential customers through their buyer journey from awareness all the way to the final purchase, which is the decision. We talked about practical mapping, how each stage of the funnel corresponds to an actionable step in retail. So driving traffic from social media to an ad, all the way to processing the sale. We also talked about retail's unique needs. So the principles of sales funnels apply to retail, but with specific nuances. And so knowing your audience and adapting your funnel, accordingly is vital. And lastly, we talked through problem and solution clarity. For every effective sales funnel, you have to start by addressing a clear problem and leading your customer to an evident solution. Okay, more takeaways. Pitching, again, is just another form of a funnel. So just as with customers, investors go through the same stages of awareness, interest, and decision. So tailoring your pitch to be able to guide them through the stages is a great way to be able to make sure that you are going to secure investment. Funnels are something that need continuous optimization. We talked about that. The digital landscape and consumer behavior is always going to change. You regularly review and adapt your funnel to keep it effective. So again, like I was talking about in relationships, in order to have a good and healthy relationship, you have to continuously optimize, right? What the person did for you 20 years ago is not, as the song says, what have you done for me lately, right? You have to continuously optimize the relationships. You continuously optimize your funnels. And remember, the key to a successful retail business is not just the attraction of the customer, but guiding them through a journey and building relationships with them. The sales funnel is just a guiding tool. So if you craft it well, you optimize it regularly, your business will thrive. So that is it. I am available for any questions. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to answer the question for the person who had to go to work. Her question is, if you have 2 or even 3 audiences, what percentage split on social media should you target them? 2 audiences equal 50-50 split to target each, or will that confuse the other audience? This relates to my aromatherapy 1 audience and sound healing sessions 2nd audience, but both overlap. Okay. So in terms of social media, so you have a couple different ways that you can handle it. One way to handle it depends like how much resources you have available. So what I would recommend is having like 1 page. And sometimes you're talking about aromatherapy, sometimes you're talking about sound healing. I think there is some similarity in the audiences who use both. And so I would, in terms of like money wise, I would probably test it. I would initially start with advertising so that my advertising dollars are focused on the one thing. So I would try with maybe aromatherapy, and then from there try with sound healing based on with the same budget during the same time period. After that, then I would look at the results. If whichever one is the winner, then that might be like the thing that I lead with. And then perhaps through another funnel after someone purchases something from me, then that would be a situation where you put in like a complimentary funnel to offer them the other thing. So that's how I would do it initially. And then, moving forward, I would lead with the winner. Now, in terms of social media, I would just continue to post and see which one gets the more engagement, and then, lead with that one. Okay. Stacy also asked, do you have recommended tools for upselling and cross-selling, recommended tools for surveys? So recommended tools for upselling and cross-selling is really, again, like I was saying, if you have a Shopify site, that automatically comes built in. It's like a feature that you can have on your Shopify site where it will recommend specific products to people based on what they purchase. Other things that you can do in terms of recommended tools. So depending on who you use for your email provider, so like let's say you use ActiveCampaign, people can be tagged after they purchase a certain thing, and then a email automation sequence can go forward after, you know, they're given a specific tag. Okay. So how do I build my marketing budget? So marketing budget, if we are looking at, and sorry, in terms of recommended tools for surveys, Google Forms is actually a pretty reliable product to use for surveys, but you can also use something called Typeform. So sorry, I forgot. Let me circle back. But Google Forms is free. Typeform, that depends. Okay, in terms of how to build a marketing budget. So your marketing budget should, depending on what the revenue of your business is, your marketing budget should be about 20% of whatever the business is making should be set aside for marketing. And then you continue to reinvest and scale, reinvest and scale. If the business is not making any money at all, right? Because we all start out at that point at first. I would try your best to test with organic methods. So social media, your warm, network of people that you already know. If you see that your organic, and by organic, that just means like your warm people, the people that you already have following that you don't have to pay for. If you see that you are not able to convert those people at least 5 to 10%, then we have to rethink the strategy. It's either we need a different product or, we need a different audience. But before going into paid traffic, if it's ads are, one of the examples that I always like to say is ads are like a microphone. They only amplify what is already going on. So if, let's say, for example, you know how to sing, having a microphone is great, right? If you don't know how to sing, having a microphone is really, really bad, right? So all ads do is amplify what is already going on. So before spending on a marketing budget, I would say test with your organic warm audience first. If you see that you can't convert 5 to 10% of the people who are already following you to purchase, then before I would address that before moving to paid traffic. Okay, of the 20%, what should the conversion rate be? So your email list is going to convert usually at a rate of 1 to 5%. So what that means is for every 100 people that you add to your email list, 1 to 5 of them will actually buy what it is that you are asking them to buy. If it is less than that, then if it's less than 1%, if you have for every 100 people, if you're not even able to make one sale, then again, you gotta go back to the drawing board. Something is wrong with the offer. Something is absolutely wrong with the offer. So that's what the conversion rate should be. If you are trying to sell your product in at a live event, so again, the conversion rates depend, on what's happening. If you're trying to get sales at a live event, then it should be like 10 to 20% of the people in the room should purchase from you. Trying to think of what other great sales conversion rates. Yeah, so those two. Let's see. When a client comes into your funnel process on Shopify, should that person be immediately put into a welcome flow, or should there be a period between the time they make their first purchase on Shopify and when you put them into an email, SMS welcome flow? So for retail, one of the best things that you can do on your Shopify website, you want one of the first type of sales funnels that you want to actually execute on is what's called the first time discount funnel. And so you will put a pop-up on your website that allows people to get a discount for their very first purchase. I typically I typically recommend that this first time discount funnel is 20% or higher, because anything less than that doesn't really make people move the needle. Like, they're not really excited to, like, who's excited to save 5%, 10%? Like, nobody's excited about that. There's nothing exciting about that. So I would recommend having a first time discount funnel. Once the person goes into the first time discount funnel, excuse me, it is going, I would say, over a period of like a week, I would email them about 3 times over the period of a week, and maybe text them twice to encourage them to use the coupon code. The other sales funnel for retail that is critical to be used would be an abandoned cart funnel. An abandoned cart funnel is a sales funnel where once the person initiates a purchase, but they leave the page, maybe somebody called them to do something, a dog was barking in the background, like they got distracted, they didn't complete the purchase. You want to have a sequence in place that, again, for the same thing, over a week, you kind of email the person like 3 times, maybe every 2 days or so, like, you know, until they actually complete the purchase that they started. So that's how I would, now after a purchase, in terms of the email, SMS welcome flow. So it's honestly, and this is going to sound like, you know, but bear with me, but it's a relationship, right? And so I am not one of those marketers that believes like in a certain number of rules. It just depends on the relationship. Like, some relationships, people are more needy than others, right? And some people are not, right? So it depends on who your ideal client is. If your ideal client is, let's say, for example, your ideal client is a stay-at-home mom who's homeschooling, she might need to hear from you more frequently than a person who, you know, is if your ideal client is working like, you know, multiple jobs, or maybe if your ideal client is like someone who's starting a business, they might need to be nurtured a little bit more than someone who's been a busy mom, right? It just, you know, so that the frequency on how often you contact a person, there's no set, you know, rule or formula. But again, if you think about it in terms of you're in a relationship with this person, how often would you like to hear from that person? And then you know, you have the answer specifically for your business. Yeah, these are really some great questions, really awesome questions. So yeah, there's no set rule, but I will say, you know, if, for example, sometimes, you know, life happens, you fall off, you don't contact people, you know, there are some businesses that sometimes only email like once a week. Sometimes they go for months. They don't email, which, you know, life happens, right? If we're honest, I would say if that ever happens, before trying to sell them something, you just kind of send out an email to let them know, hey, this is what's been going on. You know, you don't have to tell them your personal business, you know what I mean? Like, but, you know, if it's relevant, share it, you know, because people actually do really appreciate knowing, like, you know, to some degree what's happening, because people really do follow the journey of businesses. And so, you know, they're invested. And so, you know, that's basically what I would recommend in terms of frequency of communication. All right. Any other questions? Raise your hand. Any other questions? Or
any other questions, you guys? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
okay.
Advantage.
Oh, I have a couple more. Okay. Do you have recommendations on how to enhance the customer experience as a whole? Yes. So, you know, keeping in communication with people after they purchase, that will definitely enhance the customer experience as a whole. Also, I would say, how does that phrase go? It's better to under promise and over deliver. So, so when you send them the product, like let's say it's especially if you send the products in the mail. What I love when I purchase from retail businesses, and when I receive my product, I get like a card or like a sample of another product. Oh my God, it's so nice that they thought about me to do that. Like, so those little personal touches definitely do a large help in terms of like enhancing the customer experience as a whole. And also sometimes, if we're honest as business owners, like sometimes things don't always are perfect. Taking responsibility, apologizing if necessary, those are all things that like will definitely enhance the customer experience. Okay, next question. With Shopify, I noticed there is a lot of plugins in the App Store that can help the conversion and traffic of your website. Do you know that you can recommend? So I'm gonna be honest with Shopify in terms of plugins. The best thing is to actually start using paid traffic between Shopify and Facebook Meta, whatever, like same, but they communicate very, very well together. Like out of all of the website platforms, I've never seen like the communication between Shopify and Meta is like, it's seamless. Like, and so that, and the level of data that Facebook has for its users, like at the moment, there's no other app topping that. They're just not. So I would say I wouldn't necessarily get bogged down in like the other apps that they offer, but I would more so make sure that the plugin and the communication between Shopify and Meta for your store is working, and that should give you so much insight. Okay. What is your recommendation to plan for every work that you need to do? What's the 3 prior to do it? So in terms of, are you talking to like a physical planner, or like how do I decide each day like what tasks to do? I just want to make sure I understand. I guess I'll answer.
I'm sorry, it's me. I write very slowly, but I want to ask you, in the like owner or entrepreneurship, what is the recommendation that you have for the 3 principles, the 3 principles tasks that you need to focalize or focus in your business, or that?
Okay, I understand. I understand.
Yeah?
So
Okay.
yes, I understand. So I would say your business, the most important tasks are going to be the tasks that are revenue generating, right? Because you want to be in business and not have an expensive hobby. So revenue generating tasks are going to be anything that is, generating sales. So writing emails, writing ads, social media, posting, anything that has a direct bottom line to your actual revenue. Those are going to be the things that you prioritize first. A lot of times in retail, people focus a lot on like inventory and or I've seen people, taking days, weeks, months focusing on branding, colors, and logos. And while all that stuff is important, right? I'm not counting that those things are not important, but they're not revenue generating at the moment. So those are the 3 things. You always want to focus on the revenue generating tasks first, because once you have your business to a consistent revenue, then you're able to expand and scale and do all the other things that you want to do. Revenue generating tasks take priority over everything. So again, that's going to be advertising, marketing on social media, emailing. Those are the top 3. In terms of
conclusion is go for inventory for everything, put your marketing going on.
Yeah, marketing.
The conclusion.
Number 1. Okay. Yep. To the list. Top
Thank
of the
you.
list. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I see I have a question that says, would that be for Facebook Marketplace? My business is an e-commerce nail supply store. So yeah, so I think you're following up with Shopify. Yes. So there is there's an integration that Shopify has on the site where it asks you if you want to integrate with the Facebook, just with Facebook in general, like your business page. So the Facebook Marketplace is more so like you listing individual products on your Facebook page, and Shopify noticing when someone clicks and purchases. What I'm referring to is just in general, like a general integration between Meta and Facebook, Meta and Shopify itself. So you don't necessarily need to have like physical products in your Facebook Marketplace part of the store. This is just an integration between the two apps that they communicate with each other. So if someone comes from Facebook onto Shopify and purchases something, Facebook is paying attention. You put in a pixel on your site and you integrate the two apps with each other, and it just communicates back and forth and lets each other know, what's happening. How long does a strategy take to give results? So it really just depends on, the frequency of how often you're trying something. But in general, what I would say is, going back to what we said before, for every 100 people on your email list, you can expect 1 to 5% to purchase from you. In terms of getting people on your email list, if we're talking with paid traffic, that's going to cost anywhere from $2 to $5 a lead. So depending on what your budget is going to determine how long it takes you to get to those 100, 200, 300 people. But then once you have them in, if you notice, hey, I have, 250 people following me and I'm not able to get 1 or 2 sales, something is wrong. You would immediately know that something is wrong. So, how long it takes to get results is going to be different for every person, just depending on how much budget you have to, pay to get leads on your email list. All right. Do I have tips to encourage loyal customers to become brand ambassadors? Maybe they haven't thought about it, but if you suggest it, they would love to do it. So it's typically 2 things. Giving someone a great customer experience, they will actually become like an unofficial brand ambassador for you. Because look, now today AMC has no idea, right, that I was talking about their movie theater membership, but I'm not getting paid for it or anything, but I still brought it up as an example because I've been having a great experience with it. So there's that. Now, if you want to officially have people become brand ambassadors, then that's something that after a certain series of purchases, so I would say maybe after a person has bought from your business maybe 4 or 5 times, then maybe you send an email encouraging them and letting them know like they get a certain percentage off, or a certain coupon code specifically for them, if they are willing to promote your things to their network, is how I would present that. Barbara says, I have a large list of customers, but only their phone numbers. What do you recommend to reach out to them? So, Barbara, I would say moving forward, you want to definitely make sure that you get both the phone number and the email. But and the reason for this is, again, going back to advertising, once you have people's names and email, and also their phone number, you're able to create what's called a lookalike audience with Meta, where they basically will look at your buyers and try to find profiles on Facebook that match within 1%, profiles on Facebook or Instagram that match within 1% of like looking exactly like the person who's already bought from you. So but they need at least a first name, an email address, or a phone number in order to do that. Email obviously works better because most people don't have their phone number uploaded into Meta. So there's that. And then, yes, Meta finds lookalikes based on email. Yes. And of course, a lot of times, the emails that we signed up with Facebook are not, the same as now, but they do actually do a pretty good job of being able to track down those individuals. Also, you can advertise to your exact customers when you're able to provide Meta with that information. So let's say, you have people who've bought from you already and you just want to run like a very small campaign just to the people who bought already. Well, you need to be able to give them at least the first name and email address for them to find those people to show the ad to. But in the meantime, moving forward, to get that, but you can also send text campaigns. So with Active Campaign, I know that they send out SMS text. There is another company, and right now the name escapes me, but there are companies that you can upload the list of phone numbers and send out text to your customers en masse. Text marketing has an open rate of about 90%, so it's pretty strict. Active Campaign is a CRM, which is like an email service provider. I know that they do both email and text messaging, but there are some that just exclusively do text only. So yeah, the text messaging is usually like a 90% open rate. It's not really much that you're going to be able to say. I think it's like, 150 characters or so. Anything more than that, they're looking at you kind of crazy. But you can definitely send text messages to your clients. I would not recommend sending more than one in a week, because people are okay with getting multiple emails, but when you start sending multiple text messages, it's not a good thing. People get annoyed and will unsubscribe much faster than with email. So, okay, use PostScript for text messaging also. Yeah, you do yourself. Yeah, you do yourself. Yeah, so see. All right, so I want to be obedient to the time. Alexis, I'm done.